Hey there, folks. Welcome again to another episode of It's All About Racing. Here we're going to take a look at a 124 scale Bburago C6 Corvette. Now, folks, bear in mind, I've only got a couple cars in 124 scale. I don't really collect them in that scale, and they're both Buragos. I bought this particular model because, well, I have a Corvette, and I'm a Corvette fan, obviously, and I absolutely love the livery, particularly with the Jake thing that you see there, kind of like we call the skull, the Jake skull. It's got the Corvette logo in the middle of it. And if you're familiar with Corvettes, the Corvettes traditionally have been yellow cars with very few variations on their theme. GM is not like Porsche, that changes their color scheme every year. They kind of stick to it. But in the 6th generation Corvette, which is one of their more successful racing ones, they did a lot of unique liveries, something they never did with the C7 Corvette, and have only altered it once in 4 years right now with the C8 Corvette. But this was a pretty cool one, I thought. I got it simply because it was just so incredibly unique. Again, here on the front, you're kind of taking a look at the Jake logo again. The skull with the Corvette logo in the middle of it. Really cool, I thought. There's something also very interesting about this particular car, and that is the doors and the hood open, or the bonnet for those Brits out there. But anyhow, it's your typical, Bburago model. It's relatively inexpensive. It's pretty much void of details. It's a very basic model, but nevertheless, I loved the livery on it. Just thought it was just so cool and so neat. And we'll pull that out again, let you take a look at it from that side. What is interesting, being a 124 scale car, thank God it's not as fragile, even though that rear wing looks like if I pulled on it too much, it would break. It's got a rubber antenna, not the typical plastic ones you see on it. It's a little goofy looking, but nevertheless, no doubt that would survive a fall. The mirrors are rubber as well, which means they're probably somewhat sturdy. And the wheels, the front wheels do turn, although the steering wheel does not. And the underside of it is just very, very basic, your typical Bburago. It does have slick tires on it, which I like. I have seen some of their models that have groove tires, and you hardly ever see these cars on groove tires unless they're in the rain. So I much prefer my models to have slick tires on it. Take a look at the back here. And the back is kind of neat, being all black, which is a little unusual. CorvetteRacing.com, bad boy vets. I kind of like that. This is, at the time, was in the GT1 class. And typical of the C6 Corvette, you have the 4 round taillights on the back. You've got the bad boy, I would call it, Sirius XM rear wing on there, again with the Jake skull on it with the Corvette logo. And I just like how they did that. It's just really, really neat. And in this particular car, you can see some of the framework and the fuel tank and everything else in the back here. So let's go ahead and open it up, and we'll take a look at the inside and the hood. All right, here's a look at the interior of the car, and I'll try to shine a light on it so you can maybe see everything a little bit better. There you go. You can see inside, you clearly got the steering wheel, you've got a console, you've got the seat. It's very basic. This is not an exceptionally detailed model, but nevertheless, at least give them credit. The doors do open. You can see the interior of the car. Granted, you have to shine a light on it to really see it a little bit better, and I'll kind of shift that around. But like I say, it does have the steering wheel. You can clearly see the seat. There's console detail on there. As far as the doors themselves, somewhat unspectacular. They just open. They're just black on both sides, as you can see it there. But nevertheless, it does open, which is different. Something I'm not quite used to in most of the cars that I buy. Very few of them open. This was not particularly a selling point for me. I just bought it because I like the detail of it. Now, to open the hood, and to be very honest with you, the engine detail in here is extremely underwhelming. And let me pause it again. It's actually easiest to open it up. There's a little hood, a little vent there for the radiator that you can open. And again, we'll shine a light on it, and you can see the interior detail of it. It is flat black, very sparse. I mean, it's very uninspiring, but it is something. Again, it ain't much, but it's something. Nevertheless, like I say, the hood does open up on it, and that's something that very few of my model cars do. I've got a Ferrari by Bburago as well, one of the Ferrari Challenge that opens up too, and I'll show that in another review. And here's a look at everything as it opens up. Not a bad car, you know, for 25, 30 bucks, and I believe I bought this on Amazon, and I'm sure it's still available. I just thought it was a really cool and unique, particularly when you shut everything on it. I just absolutely loved the Jake logo with the Corvette logo in between, and the way that they varied it with yellow and black, which is something that they have not done very, very often. Of course, you know, these teams have always been professional teams. This competing in the GT1 class, and the drivers were obviously Oliver Gavin and Oliver Beretta. Gosh, lose my mind there. And it's kind of cool how I like the script on it, where it almost looks like a child wrote it, or like I would write it if that were me, you know, writing my name on the top of the car. Very, very clever, kind of cool. Anyhow, thought I'd just show you guys something a little bit different. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching.